What's up, y'all? Welcome to the podcast of the year. You all have been waiting for this. We finally got him in the office, ready to record a legendary episode of En la Calle. This is episode 3 with our special guest, George Padilla and Brian Proceed Palma,
Yo.
the two owners of Calle 6.
Calle. Calle is crazy.
What's up, y'all? How's it been?
What up?
I haven't
Just
seen you
chilling.
guys in forever, it feels like.
I woke up yesterday with a broken back.
Spinal?
Spinal, bro. This shit is hurting like no other. Once you hit 30, it's game over. You guys know this.
Dude. I just got an extra firm bread. You gotta eat the firm bread and you gotta sleep on a firm bed. You know what the fuck I'm talking about?
Yo, that shit is nuts, bro. I can't even walk right.
What about you, Padilla?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I'm actually tired. I'm tired from this last weekend. This last weekend was good. But Brian's correct. My back, my kneecaps, they hurt. My ankles are no longer.
You've been on them knees.
Everything's just.
You've been on them knees.
How silly we getting this episode?
Everything is
Bro,
just.
you can just delete whatever the fuck is not good content.
Yeah.
Everything is just grind. Like the bones just grind against each other. Like 100%.
Yeah, let's start off with that. How old is each one of us? Because I
I-
feel like people kind of look at two club owners and some MC with gray ass fucking beard, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Not if you dye that shit
why
like
did
you
they-
did out in Colombia.
Why do these guys have the fucking dopest, funnest nights? You know, just these random ass dudes. So, how old are you, Padilla?
I just turned 34.
Okay, that's a young lad.
Oh,
Yeah.
yup, December.
Yeah, December.
Well, this
December
is true.
18.
This is true.
I just turned 30 in August, so it's coming up. 31 is coming up. On my birthday, actually, the next morning, I woke up with a bad back, and that's where it all started.
As soon as you turn 30,
I'm
what?
not even bullshitting.
Oh, at 30.
I did nothing wrong. I woke up, and I got up, and I was like, oh shit, my back is tweaked, and then it was just
That's the worst.
it goes away, and then it comes back randomly. I promise to God, I didn't pick up nothing. Just
What the fuck,
yesterday
huh?
or 2 days ago, boom, I woke up and it was just bad back again. And so fuck these
So
back
I
problems.
could give you my chiropractor's number, and they'll do a good adjustment situation for you. You have a massage.
That's fucking savage, bro.
Bro, he's a guy.
Okay, yeah, all right. So maybe we can exchange contact information, and you can hit it up. I don't fucking know.
I've already gone to your guy, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he did my back. He fucking
Did he offer any like
chupatonskis.
any
No.
of the chupathons?
No chupatonskis. No, he just literally went straight to work. He had like nothing but 10 minutes. He said, "All right, I need to get this shit out the way." So here, boom, crack. Dude, I got up feeling like $1 million.
Fire. I've never had that experience with a chiropractor. I leave feeling like shitter.
How old are you?
Oh shit! I'm turning 32 this month
What?
on the 26th.
Wait, so you're gonna be 34?
I'm 34 now.
You're 34. You're gonna be 35.
31, 32,
Damn, you guys are
And I'm
young.
30,
yeah.
31.
You guys are actually
30,
young.
We're
I
literally
forget.
the same age group.
Well, right. I just forget how young, like, for example, you are, Brian. Because I always see, I think for
You're almost 5 years older than me.
Uh-huh. When you were a freshman, I was like a senior. I was graduating.
How old is your bro?
He's 2 years younger than me. So
So he's even older than B.
Nah,
Yeah, he's only 2 years younger than me.
I thought he was my age.
He turned 30 last year.
That's
So
the
is
same
he.
age, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Damn,
shout,
your math ain't mathing, brother.
Shout out, hoes, sir.
Like,
Oh,
what?
is
Shout
that-
out to all the Hoskies.
Yo, your math ain't mathing.
All right. But before we get any further along, we do start off each episode now with the almighty dap check.
Let's see if we can do it from here. I don't think
right.
there's enough flow right here. Nope, that's a slap check.
Oh,
There it is.
You hear that, folks?
Two.
That pop.
Two shots. Can they do it?
Can I
Oh yeah, they gotta get
It's
up.
never
like-
gone more than 2 tries.
Oh, they gotta get up though.
Fuck it up. I go.
Oh, that's a slap.
Ah.
Ah. Oh, there it is. But
there it is.
that shit took like a solid 5.
So Padilla, can you explain to us why we even do that shit? Every time we say goodbye to each other, we have to make sure we get a solid pop of a dap.
Yeah, so it typically takes like maybe 5 to 8 minutes, I would say, to get the right.
What?
The right
He
clap.
just said it doesn't take more than 2.
Well, no, on the podcast, the one with 2D.
Yeah, when
Oh,
when
okay.
we're operating, like when we're like it's the end of the night, we're saying goodbye. It's just you're trying to look for the right pop, and the right pop just means, hey man, I love you. Like tonight we rocked it, and we're soulmates. Like you're mine. Like,
Those are organic though. Those don't like you don't have to try for.
yeah,
those.
you don't try those. It just happens.
That's
randomly.
like first round, first try, just boom,
Bop. It just
that shit shakes up like the ground.
it makes waves. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful sound. Right?
Correct me if I'm wrong. That shit shakes up the
Yeah,
ground. That
but
shit-
that's why we take 15 minutes
'Cause
each
we-
night
'cause
to
we
get
wanna
that.
get
We
the
want to
right
get
one.
that right feeling
Oh,
every
yeah.
time. We
I
want to.
can't-
We
I
want to
can't go
feel
home.
that. You're like, oh,
You
bro.
just don't feel home like comfortable. Like but sometimes we're not even looking to do it, and it just pops. Like it's like
Yeah.
oh shit, and it just creates a vibe. It's like a vibe starter. Like it's just
Yeah, I honestly I don't think I can go home without getting at least one dap
Yeah,
up.
for
It
real.
has to be from someone, and maybe not my
Yeah.
best buds, but somebody has to dap me up right before I can leave.
But then it's random when some random guy does it, and you dab up
And you're
like
like,
Oh,
perfect
man.
with that.
If
It's
I'm
like
in the vicinity and I hear my boy dap up
I get
savagely,
yeah.
that shit,
We're fighting. Like I'm jealous now.
yeah,
what the fuck
that
was
shit's-
that?
that
I remember
didn't
one
happen.
time. I remember one time Brian did it to this guy, and it sounded so perfect. And I told Brian, I was like, "So what? He's your like business partner now, or what? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, what's going on? What the fuck was that, Brian?"
it's in the contract, right? Like it's in the
You
guy
just
says
need a
contract.
dap
Hey,
up.
if you get a bobber dap, then
like you
this
gotta,
day,
you get to
Wow.
Sorry about
that's a
that,
good
but-
chance to check
You
the
gotta pick that
cameras
up?
and shit.
No, I don't. Maybe I should turn this off.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, we're always working. It's a client looking for a table.
okay. On your phone, your personal phone.
at least we can see this.
Is that shit filming? Oh, that's a fire ass little angle.
Oh shit.
We'll cut it after that laugh. Oh shit! You guys just keep going. Actually, I'll just join back in.
No, what?
Oh, that's fire. Actually, I've seen that.
Fuck that, I'm getting over here then.
Oh, that's whack.
What?
All right, so
All right.
Brian's taking a call right now. Very important call. But yeah, let's chat about early days of this trio, specifically yourself, Brian, and me. What were your first thoughts on Brian and his weird ass?
When we first met, or when? What are you talking about?
When you were like, there's something about this guy. He's a cutie, you know.
He's a
like,
cutie. Well, the first thing I noticed was his eyebrows.
Ugh.
Definitely something you can't miss.
he's literally in the next room like, what the fuck are they chatting about?
His lips, definitely another.
His fucking eyelashes, bro.
His eyelashes do they
No
provide?
wonder they call him El Chulito out there, huh?
Yeah. Actually, now that I start thinking about it. No, my first thought about Brian was when I first met him, he was actually really quiet, super quiet, and I think immediately Brian, he like allowed you to know that when he was serious, and when he was like when he wanted to joke around, he would joke around. But even now, like years later, Brian's no's mean no. Like if he says he's not doing it, he's not doing it. And if he's like, you can't make this man drink if he doesn't want to.
Oh, that's true.
Like, no, I'm not. Like, no. Like, and it doesn't matter what TO you have for him. Like, what, like,
real.
you can promise him anything. And if he already knows that he's not gonna do something, he's like, and that's kind of lame, but I respect it 100% of the time. I'm like, all right, cool.
There's been a lot of times where we're like, come on, bro. Like, take a
Dude,
swig or just
We're
anything.
out here,
you
bro.
know,
like, what?
Even in Colombia, it happened where he was like, fuck that.
He's like, nah. I'm like, all right, well, fuck.
We're over here being bad influences and shit.
Super bad influence.
Yeah, one thing about B before he comes back in and he's like fucking, talk nice about him is I seen him always have his homies back, like with you, other homies, Sammy, me. He's coming clutch.
Yeah, Brian is actually like a really loyal person. And I'm not just saying that because like I've experienced that with him, but even older folks, have said really good things about him that I've like have met throughout the years. And we get into conversations about Brian, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Brian, like I think like how he can be serious and just kind of like he's not as talkative like that, like from the jump. He's more like reserved, and that just allows people to see like, okay, well, like there's a level of respect that's already kind of handed off, like from his end to like everybody else, and people reciprocate with that. So I admire that 100%.
The fuck? What about me? Do me now.
So Shadow, my God, like this is no marshmallow. No, I mean, let's see. With you, it's just, it's different. Like I think everybody like that sits in this room, has a different like dynamic to them, and I think that's what makes this whole thing go around. Like it makes it special because everybody brings their own piece to the table, And so we'll cut it right there, and then like. So yeah, so like I was saying, like I think everybody brings a different component, different like attributes, and just key puzzles to this Calle concept, and I think that the ideas and the energy, and for example, like you, Shadow, like I think very early on, before we even opened our doors, I remember we were having a conversation on the main showroom, and I was like really like passionate about what I was telling you. I was like, Shadow, like I don't know if you understand this, but you're literally the gum to this whole thing. Like you
okay.
To this whole thing. Like you piece everything together, and I think that very early on that was a premature thing to say, but I think you've noticed that throughout like the months and the year, like the whole last year, right? So the bottle service girls, like it came to a point where we don't want to come out without Shadow. We're Shadow. Brian, like, hey, tapping you on the shoulder, like, yo, there's a, shout this out, or, me on your back, like, hey, bro, did you do this? Like, and so it's like, I think there was an episode on one of the early vlogs where you were like, so when everybody's like, fucking Shadow do this, Shadow do that, I come into this room and I just I just block everybody out. So, again, everybody, I think in our media team, our staff, from our cook to our security, our door, bottle service, bartenders, cleaning crew, I think they all play a very important role. But I think like their attitude towards Calle is what really makes a difference, in my opinion. How they tackle certain things and how everybody's like positive, even when you hear like a negative, like some negative happened that on any given night. And I think we have a lot of resilient people here. Like I think we have a lot of smart, resilient people that eventually are like, you know what, like let's hash at it. Like let's go.
I feel like a lot of people maybe see the team and they're like, yo, it's so calculated, like because it is like a big puzzle piece. Everyone has their piece in it. But it's crazy how it's not. It wasn't that calculated. What it was just literally you guys reaching out to the closest people and a lot of us go back to literally middle school, elementary, high school, and I mean, Brian, talk about that actually.
We grew up together, and whether it was like knowing each other somehow, so we were all just connected somehow, some way. Like I actually met, funny story, I met Kino through another one of my friends, Brian Rodriguez, that I grew up with like since preschool, and he introduced me to Kino, and a few other friends, and then I believe I got introduced to you from my cousin Luis.
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
he lived in the same apartment as him.
You were
And
still
he
in
was just
elementary back then, huh?
yeah,
We
he
were
was just
both in elementary.
yeah, he was just like a skater kid. And my cousin Luis, you know my cousin Luis, he used to be like a skateboarder too. They were all skateboarders. And
Shadow on a skateboard. That's
oh, Shadow
wild.
was bro, super skateboarder.
Man, I used to skateboard everywhere.
I see you as a longboarder, like not so much as
Oh,
a
I had a
skater.
longboard phase.
I love longboard.
Before I had a car, I was on a longboard. Oh,
Longboard's
you
my
remember that?
yeah.
Yeah, you saw that phase.
Yeah, longboard is the shit.
It was fucking.
Okay, sorry, Brian.
No, it's
Shout
all
out
good.
Swanks, he
No,
let me
I'm
borrow
just
his
saying.
longboard.
I'm just saying. Going back to this is like, just somehow, some way, we got connected, and that connection just stayed there. And I knew, at least for the most part, like with Yair and Shadow and Kino, we were always like connected with music and some type of hip hop. Really
Mm-hmm.
was what connected us. I didn't know that Kino was gonna go from breakdancing to doing whatever he does, and then into photography,
Mm-hmm.
or Yair making beats. Actually, Yair started off as a skateboarder too. He still skateboards every once in a while.
Yeah.
But you don't. I don't know. You don't expect to become what you become. Like
That's absolutely true. Yeah.
yeah. I didn't know I was gonna go from breakdancer to DJ to
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 a
cutting
bar- to a
to
barber.
cutting hair. Yeah, cutting hair to DJ.
His
to
story
this.
is crazy too.
Yeah,
Fucking flight
so it's like,
attendant.
and we all kind of seen each other through that process, and it's dope because it's ultimately it led us up to this point. But it's like we just know that there was a little bit of talent somewhere that we can bring to the table, and it just became what it is.
Yeah.
And it's just it was just flowing like that.
Yeah. I think Calle's team is a prime example of just a bunch of friends that can not just coexist, but coexisting is more, if it sounds more of a forced thing, right? But like it's more of or they organically just fit together, like it's
Yeah.
like, because none of it is forced. And I think even though you guys go way back to elementary, it sounds like for me it was like when I met you guys, it's one of those things where like you go about life meeting new people, and then there's people that you meet that are impactful to you, and then there's people that are passive, right? Like it was like,
Yeah.
oh, that was a cool friend, or that's a cool DJ, we had an experience. For you guys, it's like, oh, okay, that's my brother, like
Yeah.
that's my cousin, like if I need a favor, and we've been in tough situations, right? Like when we travel, even like Dominican Republic, like we're scraping whatever we can, or we're in all of these experiences out of nowhere become like, hey bro, like we've been through the trenches, like I got you wherever the hell is it that we're at. So
Right.
with Calle, it's like I think that mentality comes up every weekend, and the staff and everybody else reciprocates, and they're like, okay, like they're here, we're gonna be fine. Like
Yeah,
so.
I agree. And that shit, I don't know. To me, that's dope because it's like, even with the other guys, like Hella Sick and Suave, that shit feels natural. Even though we didn't grow up with them, even though we don't got 10 years together or nothing like that,
Yeah.
it feels natural. Like we still joke around with them like how we do. They're still like our boys. We still got to go dap them up, whatever it is. It's funny. We get some laughs, and it seems like at least our crew. I know that our crew, like meaning me, and Padilla, and even Kino and Yair, we're like quick to have some, make somebody feel like they're part of the team, no matter what. If we know that they got to rock with us, then we're gonna rock with them. And we're like,
Mhm.
all right, this shit is like, you're part of the team. All right, cool. You're part of this family now.
Yeah.
And so everything is like off limits when it comes to that. If you're our friend, then you're our friend, and that shit.
Be prepared.
Yeah, be prepared for anything. Be prepared to take shots. Be prepared to go on a trip. Be prepared for anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a lot of funny shit, a lot of serious shit, and a lot of work.
Yeah.
I think that's a good segue to kind of go back to. I like what you said about like sometimes you just meet people and you're like, that's my bro. Like sometimes people just stick. You're going through life your own path. People just stick and they're along for the ride. For however long it happens to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what the Calle team is right now. Is like, there's been few people kind of cycling through, and then there's those people that stick, and we've been building and building, and shit's just getting doper and doper. But let's go back to when us three stuck. You know, I feel like there was this one trip that kind of solidified. And even thinking back then, none of us had any clue about any of this. If you would have told any of us back then, hey, you know, in 10 years, yeah, in 10 years you're gonna be all in the office above a nightclub, and Padilla and Brian are gonna own that shit. That would have been the craziest shit someone told
I'm like,
me.
I don't believe it.
Bro,
No
that
way.
trip I pretty much got let go because
Bro.
I took that trip.
We got
Yeah.
fired. Yeah.
But I think, yeah, I don't know. That was our first trip together, I believe.
Yeah.
Not mine and Padilla's. I had a trip with Padilla and his squad. Really, I call it his squad because he put it together. And like, actually, it was kind of a mix because I knew like half the people that were there, and there were people that I grew up with too.
Mhm.
But that was in L.A. We went to L.A. We drove in a fucking SUV, stacked the back with fucking like three people
We
in
packed
the
it,
trunk.
like 8 total people, like 8 people with
Yeah,
this
crazy.
SUV, and it was like 3 in the front, 4 in the middle, 3 in the fucking
Yeah,
back, where,
three
like,
in the fucking back.
like we maxi packed 16 hours. It was just,
Yeah,
we were like,
I must have been like, if anything, 16, because I remember it was like high
yeah.
school still.
I was like, I had just turned 21 actually, because we got to LA and the first thing these guys wanted was alcohol. And so I was like, okay, let me go buy some
You were the
Yeah.
plug.
Four
You were-
Locos, I think it was.
Four Loco era. That was definitely the Four Loco era.
And so he was. Can I bring up your occupation?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so he was already flight attending. So
Oh, that's
because
right.
we stayed at a nice ass hotel. What was
Oh,
it
you
called
had the
again?
discounts.
The Beneventure Hotel.
The Bonaventure.
Beneventure.
Ben-
Or what
some-
if you're French, the Bonaventure.
Yeah, something like that. I don't relate. And it was a nice ass fucking hotel.
You know, you pulled that shit out of your ass when you was talking about it.
It was a nice ass hotel. He's like, yo, I got the hookups on hotel. And we're like, well, what the fuck? Why are we driving in fucking? Why are we in Mexipack? Why are we not flying first class? But anyways,
Too many of us.
yeah, we stayed at a nice ass hotel because he was the plug. Yeah, it was like they had a rooftop. They had a pool up there. It was nice. It was
That's
like
dope.
that was my first trip ever, like outside of Oregon and Washington. Legit.
Yeah.
That was my first trip ever. And like
Yeah.
I remember telling you, like
Yeah,
I had to lie to my mom and just say like, oh,
I'm staying on the weekend over at a friend.
I don't remember what I came up with, but I know that I couldn't tell her there was 10 of us in one car.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I know that.
All our friends, or I mean, all our parents would have freaked out. But
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, now that I
I
think
know,
about it,
man.
like
I
that was
know.
such a bad like idea
Oh,
because
yeah.
of the liability behind. You know, you have 3 guys in literally like the trunk space of this SUV, and we were just. I think we were just free souls, like just like
Yeah.
seeking for adventure. Really, like I think that's always been like us.
yeah,
But-
I think
but
that's what you brought to the table. I think
Yeah.
because
Oh,
we
yeah.
hadn't really traveled until we met you. Like doing a road trip like that for me was also like years after. Not really. Yeah, it was years after he went with you. He literally randomly called me, "Hey, you down to go to San Francisco tomorrow?" I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude?" I was like
Yeah.
working in the kitchen at a retirement home, making sandwiches for the elderly. You know, like
So-
crazy ass times. And
Bro,
then he,
that was the first time I ever traveled like
Mm.
anywhere, bro. So to me, that was he told me that, and I was like, I mean, I was close to Padilla, but closer to you. So I was like, I need somebody else to roll with us. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know that we needed it, but I was like, fuck
No,
it, let's see who
just
else
to
can
make it
join
more
in.
of a- yeah.
And you guys actually, now that like you guys are saying this, I learned a couple things obviously right through traveling and even living life in general. But I've learned that the first is it doesn't matter where the hell you go in this planet. It doesn't matter where you go. It matters who you go with, right? And then the second thing I've learned is you need down people to go. Like you need people to just go. Like book the stuff, let's go. Like don't talk about it, literally be about it. And so I think that secretly for me, it was like, okay, I want to go and I want to experience and I want to travel and I want to do this. But it's so hard to find friends to do that with that when I came to when I told Brian about that, I was in such a hard time in my life where I was like, damn, I need to look for a job. Like I need to leave Oregon. I need to go and like, you know, still be in this industry of like flight attending or the airline. And I told Brian, I was like, hey, I went into his house venting. Like, hey, bro, like, I'm going to leave to, can you cut my hair? Because I got this
You were there
interview.
for
I
that
got an
cut.
interview in a couple of days, you know? He's like, what? Where are you going? I was like, oh, I'm gonna drive down to San Jose,
San Jose, yeah.
and he's like, oh yeah, well, do you have snow tires? Because it's Shasta Mountain, and you know how Brian gets all fucking critical with it. I was like, I don't, bro, but it's a little TC. I'm gonna make it. Like, it's gonna be fine. And then Brian, like, it was one of those, like, all right, well, I'm going, like, we're going, you know. And I was like, yeah, you're down. And it just became like a, yeah, let's go. Called in, I don't know, did whatever the hell he needed to do, and then that's when I actually met you. Like, that's when, not met you, but
we knew each other in passing, but we never really hung out.
And to me, even your experience, I'm like, what? He just fucking said yeah. I'm like, all right.
Well, even me, I was like, that was like, for example, that was my first time ever leaving Oregon, like legit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I maybe just crossed the border into Washington with my parents, and maybe gone to like Eastern Oregon, legit. Like, I never went on no vacation, you know, or nothing like that. So that was my first time. I was like, all right, like, that shit sounds fun. Let's do it. And at that time, I was like, bro, I don't give a fuck about my job. I'm cutting hair under the table at a fucking beauty salon, which at that moment I was like, I loved cutting hair. You know, I was trying to be a barber
before carpal tunnel hit.
Before carpal tunnel, yeah. And so I was like, fuck this shit. Like, this ain't no legit job, you know. Like, I'm not even actually hired. So I was like, it's either this, like, just for a weekend, or I can go take this trip with my boy. And I was like, fuck it, let's go. And then so when I called Shadow up and he was down, I'm like, all right, let's run it. And even Shadow, I think, was scheduled to work, and he was like, yo, I got to call in somehow.
Because I remember his boss would call him every, like, 30 minutes because he was supposed to catch a flight back or something happened.
Yeah, so I called out for the day we were leaving, and then we stayed out there longer than we planned. And we were all broke as fuck, but we fucking somehow managed to do some cool little shit out there, you know?
We went to, well, your boss, I remember your boss was like, hey, what's the update? And Shadow, literally with a straight face, not even in front of his boss, but on the phone, he's like, yeah, so, like, pretty much the roads are all blocked with snow, and we can't fucking make it out there. I was like,
we were in San Francisco.
So
we were at In-N-Out in San Francisco, literally.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So I think we went, like, on a Thursday, I believe, because the reason why I say that is because on Friday I had to call in because I usually worked only the weekends. So I believe we left on a Thursday, and on Friday I called in, and then I was like, hey, I was in San Francisco and I'm not gonna make it because of snow also.
Yeah.
And then she was like, well, then don't even bother coming this weekend. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, all right, cool. And so that's how I got mine out the way real fast.
Yeah.
But Shadow was getting live updates. Hey, there's like another inch of snow. Can't make it.
Yeah. And then it was like,
I
think the reason why we're talking about, like, this trip specifically is because it was a kickstart to, like, every other trip that happened with us specifically. And
not only that, just the bonding in general.
Yeah,
it was like
how, like, we actually got to see, because you have to think, like, a bunch of young kids, right, on a road trip to San Jose. We went to San Francisco. We slept in the, like, anybody that's been to San Francisco, like, has gone to a lighthouse. Like, we literally slept in that parking lot. And it was just condensation up the ass at 3 a.m, like, dripping freaking on your face.
But in a Scion TC, a little TC, fucking like, two-door Scion
like
TC.
Me cuddling next to Shot, like, this fucking girl.
Me sitting in the front seat, like, just leaning back like this.
Just storytelling, like, hey, Shadow, you remember that time we saw the devil? Like, shut up, guys. Like,
telling ghost stories, talking about fucking, you know, old crushes and shit. Like, we were just talking for hours. And I feel like we each got, like, maybe 3 hours of sleep.
And then I had interviews, like, ASAP. We went to a gasoline station. I went in, like, Superman, came out, like, fucking Ken Clark.
I remember that, all, like, with a suit on. He's just, like, his hair was... He didn't even touch his hair, I don't think. He left it, like, with the freaking gel on. He just, like,
who had gel since we left Portland?
Yeah, since we left Portland. Just, like, crusty-ass gel. And I remember that we were just, like, so fucking desvelados. We were, like... just out of it, and me and Shadow were like knocked out in the car, and Padilla would come through and was like, all right, we're down with this round.
I was just doing rounds.
Moving on to the next round. I'm still in it, and we were just hyping him up like, hell yeah, bro, that's good, dope, you got this, you know. And then
I would go back and then come back like an hour later, be like, hey guys, I made it to the next round. And you guys were sleeping. I would come to the car, you guys would be sleeping. And then Shadow would be like, oh, yeah, bro, that's dope. Like, congrats, bro. Get that back to sleep. And then I would leave and say like 3-4 times. And then finally, it was like the end of the day, and then I think you guys did some exploring, no?
We were just walking around right there in San Jose because it was like a nice area too.
Yeah, it
And
was
then
kind of
we
like
saw like a little fight break out. I think the cops
there
were
was
like
like
arresting someone.
there was like a naked homeless lady.
Yeah.
at
I
the
have a picture
bus
of that
stop.
of us that day when we were in that parking lot when it was like congratulations.
Oh yeah, there is pictures.
You
of that
made
somewhere.
you made it to like the last run, and like
Yeah.
we took a picture. I was like, you can take a picture with us, guys, and then like
Mhm.
And mind you, Padilla looked like shit. Like he was tired as fuck.
I was exhausted.
No sleep. He had just drove from Oregon to San Francisco, stayed up all night with us. Went
For
through all the
real?
rounds. Me and Shadow were getting rested up, sleeping, and he just came out here like, "Yo, I'm winning rounds right now." We're like, oh shit!
Fuck.
And we're like, "All right, good shit."
That's crazy.
And then I believe, yeah, we ended that right there, San Jose. We went back to San Francisco. I think we stayed in the lighthouse again, or I don't even remember. Did we stay?
No, we stayed up to party, and that's when you were able to sneak into your first nightclub.
Yeah, I was using my brother's fake ID.
Yeah,
His real ID.
Which don't do that.
don't do that.
Don't do that.
It's
We
not
don't
allowed.
condone
It's
that.
Do not do
illegal.
that. That is horrible idea.
This is a fictional story. Continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we had an amazing trip, to say the least, that we ran it back a few years later.
Yeah.
We went out there, we drove out there. I think just for fun this time, right?
Yeah.
Did we drive? No, we flew out there.
Did we fly?
I believe so.
I think we
Your
flew, yeah.
friend Miguel.
Shout out Miguel.
Oh, that's
he
right.
he
Shout
had
out Miguel, yeah.
the spot for us to stay. We had a free
Where
spot
was
to
his
stay
spot at? San Jose?
San Jose.
No,
No, it was.
wasn't it San?
Santa Clara.
San
San Andreas?
Clara.
No, San Andreas.
San Andreas?
Santa Clarita, no?
Something
Santa
like
Cruz.
that. Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz. That's
There you
right.
go. Santa Cruz, when we did our second trip, that shit was just as fun.
Yeah.
Probably not as fun, but it was like up there.
Yeah.
You know, the first one was just like, it was our first time. We did a bunch of random shit. Alcatraz, Haunted Mansion.
The
Um,
graffiti alleyways.
Yeah.
Clarion Alley.
Yeah. The alleys.
Yeah.
We ate
That's dope.
tacos right there on
Bomb ass tacos.
And I think
Mission Street.
I think guys also like through travel, I think we were able to I think the reason why we became so close is because through travel we got to discover like what we're all good at. And like Shadow's such a artistic guy, you know, and like for example Santa Clarita, when we did like the alleys and like the murals, he was so like inspired by that, and it was just kind of like, oh shit, this is what Shadow likes, you know. Brian like hip hop and like the urban culture and everything else, and it's like, damn, that's cool. Brian tries to take me to the hood every time. He was like, oh bro, let's go over here, like whether we're in Chicago or fucking you know, fucking what's
This
that?
is where they filmed.
The Compton.
I like
yeah.
to go to the most dangerous
Yeah,
spots.
and I'm like, why,
Yeah,
Brian?
let's go to
like,
the jungle.
dude, let's go over here where it's fucking safe, right?
If anything, that's how we ended up at Comuna 13 in Colombia. We're just like, let's go check out the most deadliest spot.
That
The
was
history
one rated
was
in the world.
crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Colombia, let's get a drink on.
Oh,
Please.
Some
I'm
bottles
surprised
from
we haven't
Colombia right here.
touched it.
I'm tengo frío.
Ron Medellin.
For real, it's cold in here.
Right here, look at this shit. Open that one up. I actually want to taste the difference between 12 años
I'm gonna put
and
my
8
gum away.
años.
I'm gonna straight piss.
Go piss.
Right.
We'll cut right back into it.
Yeah. Fuck.
Here, I'll open it. Let me see this. All right, ladies and gents, the boys are taking care of business, and I'm over here taking care of business. This is a brand new bottle from Colombia. Let's see if we can get this out. All right. Ron Medellin, 8 años. And then right over here we got Ron Medellin 12 años. So we want to see what the difference is. So this one is obviously aged longer, and this one's only 8 years aged. So we want to test that out. But this is like our go-to when we go to Colombia. We're just buying bottles of Ron Medellin. We can buy a bunch of other bottles because they're cheaper. We can probably buy this 1942 for hella cheap, but this is our go-to. You can never go wrong with Ron Medellin. A little bit of rum and coke goes a long way, and it's like no headaches, no hangovers. Ron Medellin all night, and Pedialyte all night, and also suero to save the day, if you absolutely must. We need to do the tester to see what the difference in taste is. This one's aged 12 years. This one's 8 years. So, crack this open, Shadow. Make sure the seal is closed. Let's taste these.
Gosh.
Here, so I'm gonna pour just a little bit of
boy.
a little bit in each one of ours.
Not this
Here.
shit. Hold on, don't really see yet. Which is the 12?
How hard is it? It's aged.
I loosened it up so it's
Let me
gonna
see
be
your.
easy
Let
for
me
you.
see.
Oh god damn, bro! Pop that seal.
Smells like honey.
Damn, is that how the real seals are supposed to be? And we were getting fake seals?
Oh, there it goes. Wow, you're weak.
Wait,
Okay.
what?
Okay, no. So
This is the
we
8.
poured it- this is just.
Well, this
the
is a
tester.
12. This is a 12.
That's the 12. Yeah.
Oh, it's just little testers.
Here, pop that. Put that on.
So what's
Or
the
just
difference? Can you explain?
It's
I
one's
just did.
aged.
I
One's
said
aged.
One is aged longer. So
Oh,
Like one's
8 años.
12.
so this is the
12 años.
older. All right.
So this is 12 right now.
What are we cheersing to for the tester?
Cheers into y'all, to
To the viewers?
to our crowd, to our public, to our
Yeah.
guests.
Cheers to everybody that makes Guys Says happen.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Cheers.
Clink.
All right, let's taste it. This is a taste test. It's not just for shots. Huh.
It's got a little bit of an earthy
Oh,
feel, you know. You can tell that
It's
it was
spicy.
curated in the Alps.
Wow. That is.
It's good. It's good.
That's good though. It's smooth. It's definitely
definitely
smooth.
smooth.
Yeah, it is.
Belly is
Would you
burning. I
pref-
have an 8.
It's
Would
going
you
down.
prefer to take a shot of that or tequila?
Honestly, that was
Hornitos.
pretty smooth, but I mean,
Hornitos.
I took the time
No
to-
hornitos. If I'm in Colombia, I'm taking this all day.
Okay.
If I'm in Mexico, though,
This is the 8.
This is 8. Ooh, that's a bigger one.
The gulpage.
look.
The gok. Here, you can do this one by yourself.
I wonder if
Oh,
there's
that's-
gonna be a difference.
that kinda
This is even like thicker.
There has to be a difference.
So this is less years, right? This is a
Less.
little.
So,
years.
so educate me a little bit, Padilla, since you're like, an alcohol enthusiast.
Since I'm an alcoholic.
No,
alright.
you're an alcoholic enthusiast. What does the aging do? It makes it better?
Yeah.
In a sense,
The longer it sits, the richer it is, or the better it tastes.
Because that's what they taught us out in tequila, right?
Mhm.
When we were at the...
Yeah. I don't know the process behind this, but ron, I'm assuming is very similar to tequila, but typically that's
That's just what different plants and shit, right?
for ron. Yeah, I'm assuming.
What is?
I don't know. I don't know, bro. We just drink this
I
thing
kn-
called alcohol?
Yeah, I know more about tequila than what I do about ron, but
Okay. Well,
Shout
who
out
knows?
Ron Medellin.
Shout out
some
Ron
people don't even
Medellin.
like. Some people don't even like the dark stuff. They take shots of
True.
it. Some people like.
Shit, if I had to choose between like a Hennessy versus this, I'd take this all day long.
Oh,
for
for
dark.
sure, for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
Or tequila even. I'd take this.
yeah. I
honestly.
tried Hennessy a few times, and it's for me. I'm sorry, I'm not looking to offend anybody that's a
You
Hennessy
know, start a
lover.
debate, bro.
No, I'm just saying for me, like it's different palates, different tastes, different strokes for different folks.
Douce is where it's at. But anyways, let's get
Douce
this.
is
to
yeah. Douce
Cheers.
is good.
Cheers to what, boys?
I'm gonna cheers to 8 years. I mean,
8 years? Okay, to 8 años.
mhm.
Let's do that then. Ooh. There is a
Whoa.
difference in taste.
Oh shit.
It's a little spicier.
Nah, I thought that was smoother.
I don't know.
honestly.
That one went in my nostrils more. It just comes out. It just drips out of the fucking.
Damn.
You had drips?
I get the drips from time to time.
Gotta get the drippy.
All right. Well, that was cool. That's cool.
My favorite was probably 8.
Honestly,
Yeah.
that was
Mhm.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, 8 is usually what we get over there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 12, but we're all we drink out there is rum.
Shout out
Realistically.
Colombia for introducing the 8 and 12.
But
to us.
even in Dominican Republic, all we drank was rum.
Mm-hmm.
Dope.
Sick.
Hell yeah, good shit,
my
man.
stomach is burning like right now. Like
Mine's too. It's
All
had
right.
nothing but coffee and rum.
Same here. Fuck, where's my coffee at? Oh, I chugged it. All right.
I'm ready to go. Let's go. I'm warmed up.
Huh? He was just complaining about it, dude. It's kind of
Let's
chilly in here.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, now that we had that brief intermission, we got some nice warm alcohol in our systems. Let's move on to the nitty gritty, the things that people want to know. You know, people see two younger Mexican young men owning a 3-room nightclub in Portland. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are like, how does that go down? What happened? How did that come to be? So I think my first question is, you know, whoever wants to answer first, but I guess when did the idea spark between you two? Like, yo, let's open a nightclub. Like, what? How does that happen?
Wow. I think just being in the nightclub industry as a DJ and promoter and all that, you kind of just see, you know, the other side where you're like, oh wow, these club owners are getting money off of this, and this, and having that business mentality and having another friends that are, you know, in business as well. You kind of just you want to see like where or how you can get into that industry on the other side instead of just entertainment. Just be like the business side into it. So when we were in Colombia, I believe is how it sparked really. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah.
I believe that's where the first time we ever said, hey, what about getting a club in Portland? And after that, it was just, I think we just kept thinking about it. And then I believe one day you were like, let's actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, fuck, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really how it sparked. At least that's my theory on it. I don't know what your theory was on it, but
No, I think you're correct. To just kind of piggyback on that, I remember the exact date. It was actually your birthday. We went out to a club,
oh
and
wow,
the club
it was my birthday.
the club that we were at had a swimming pool, like in the middle of this whole thing, like, you know, and the vibes were correct, the food was correct, everything. The obviously we're in a different country, and you know it's just different, but I think that you just, out of the excitement, the bottle came out, and you're like, bro, we need to do some shit like this in Portland, you know. And at that point, you were a promoter / DJ. You weren't like looking to you. This wasn't even like a topic of conversation just yet. And we were just talking. And alongside with, I'd like to think of him as a tour guide / like he was with us the whole time. This guy that would just show us around. We just kind of asked him like, hey, how much like money would it take to build something like this? He's like, oh, hermano, con $50,000 puedes tener esto aquí. And so the original idea was, let's build something in Colombia, right? And that idea was short-lived because as soon as we got into the plane, we're like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're like, there's no way
we're not.
we can't just buy a club.
I don't know who I can trust out here. What's gonna
Hey,
happen?
but now, hey, it's a
Right,
possibility.
right, yeah.
Now,
It's
Now
a
it's
possibility now, but
but back then,
back then we were like, bro, we don't know
nobody.
nothing about.
Stay tuned. Calle says in Colombia will soon come.
Yeah.
But no, and then so that's where the idea first sparked. And then I remember the biggest major follow up after that was I was getting a haircut, and you were just talking to me about like, hey bro, like let's really do this. And I asked a ton of questions. I was like, bro, well, like, you're like, I don't know, man. Let's go talk to, shout out Azim over at Casa. Much love to him and his crew. He's like, let's go talk to him. I could set up an appointment and like just kind of pick his brain to see what he thinks about it. And so for me, I'm more of a, okay, man, you need to show me like how this is gonna work. I need to see it on paper to understand it. You know, you can't just bring an idea to me and then expect that for it to just unveil. You know, so I remember that as you were cutting my hair, I was like, I started grinning, like just thinking about the process and grinning, and I
Oh
was just
yeah, I
kind
do
of like,
remember this.
I was like, all right, bro, all right, let's do this. Set
But
up the appointment,
yeah,
like let's go. And there was a light post that was flickering, right? That was flickering outside of where you were cutting my hair, and then it just like popped up, like it turned on. And I took a picture of it or like a video. I think it's on my Facebook, or I think it's on Facebook. And it said something like, I think we captioned it like, fuck, I can't remember. Something like a light bulb idea, like an idea just sparked, right?
Nah, so you documented the moment.
Yeah, yeah. There's a video legit on it, like
Oh,
legit,
sick.
yeah, of that very moment, you know. And then a
Nice.
week later, Brian texted me. He goes, "Yo, Azim confirmed. Like we can meet at Fuse." And I sat there and I asked a ton of stupid questions. I'm sure per Azim, like because he's been, this is a man that's been in business for a while, right? So he's probably like, "Oh, these kids, you know, or whatever." But he was very nice. He was very generous to even share his time with us like that, you know. So I'm forever grateful, just to
Yeah.
pick at his brain or to even get insight. Azim is someone that I personally, I truly respect, just because he's been in the scene for a while. He, you know,
He also came up as a DJ.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But he's-
we've been looking up to him for
But
sure.
he's owned other businesses, so you know, I was like, man,
Yeah.
he's a good person to start off with.
yeah, and not to you know, not to say that we can't learn from anybody else that's in the industry, but you know, when you're first learning to crawl and kind of get your first steps in, like it's important to kind of like, you know, pick and choose and kind of see what works for you, even because a lot of the information that gets thrown at you may not necessarily work for your idea concept, you know. So that was
Yeah.
very important to identify, okay, what are we, you know, what are we gonna do? Even I think for the first 4 or 5 months we didn't know what Calle was gonna be, you know. We were
Yeah.
just kind of like, we
It
don't
didn't
know,
even have a name.
we didn't know what it's gonna do. I mean, we were running into issues where we were like, Brian, how much inventory should we order? Like, and we would ask the people that were in this building prior to us, so like, how much did you guys order, to get an idea? And bro, we flew by that inventory like within the hour of when we were operating. And it's like, then you have Brian and I going to Fred Meyer's down the street, Safeway, getting like, buying like cases of Modelo Coronas and whatever, right? But I think that originally that's where the idea kind of like just started, and it was like, okay.
Let's also take a step back. Brian, what obviously Padilla, right away, just hearing you speak, you are very like business minded. Obviously, Brian, what this is a reason why you wanted to bring him in. So let's talk a little bit about your background. Obviously, we know Brian was a DJ promoter. How about yourself? Like, why do you feel like? Well, I already know, but this is for the people. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. So I think I'm no different than most people that come into the club, right? Like I there's no superpower to me or anything like that. If anything, I try to be as grounded as I possibly can. And I understand culture. I understand my culture, you know, a lot. And so I come from a background of, you know, both my parents are full Mexican. You know, my parents migrated to this country with an idea, right? And I think that a lot of my success is not driven by, you know, my grades in high school, any college, university experience. I think it's just driven by the sole idea that my parents had when they left their country, right? And so just to elaborate on that is, you have to understand and see it this way. If you have migrant parents that came to this country, they one day woke up and said, we're leaving, right? We're picking up our stuff and we're going, right? To a country that's foreign to them, to maybe to a language that they don't understand or fully like speak, right? Even now, like I'd like to think that my parents understand a lot of it, but it's not like it's their first language, right? They had to leave their jobs, their families, which is a big one, right? And they did it all with not even a clear understanding of what in the world was gonna happen or if it's even gonna work out, right? So when I go about like, okay, the decision making, like the business minded concept of things, you know, I'm like, if I'm ever like afraid, like, you know what if this fails? I think back of that. I think back to my parents. I'm like, my parents left one day, so why would I not jump into an idea, a business opportunity? At least try it. The worst thing that could happen is that I fail, right?
Mhm.
And but most people know that, right? So for me, that's number one. Like that's what you think about, right? You owe it to them to at least give it a shot. Because then if you don't give it a shot, it's like you're not really caring about the efforts and the energy and the sacrifices that they made for you to even take that shot. That's how I look at it. There on after, man, like I was such a. That being said, I was such a like distracted kid in school. All I cared about was like social life, bad grades for sure, you know. And so it wasn't like I understood where I was going. I just really understood at an early age that opportunities come and go, and if you don't grab it, then you're done, right? And so I knew that I wanted to travel. I was like, yo, let me become a flight attendant. That's the cheapest, easiest way for me to travel, right? I became a flight attendant. I got denied by 1,000 carriers, but then the right carrier hired me on. It was a private charter for United Airlines. Shout out United. I lived in Chicago, Cleveland for quite some time, and I traveled the U.S. I traveled every state within like 3 weeks. So I did a lot of traveling. And I met a lot of interesting people, right? So my education doesn't come from a college or a university. It comes from like all these influential people that I've met along traveling, where it's like, oh shit, that's actually really impactful. Like, very few people wow me when it comes to that, you know. But when they wow me, it's like, oh shit, like that's actually a huge wow factor, you know. Shortly after that, I went into the collection industry, where I worked alongside with you for a minute.
He got me a job at the collection agency. That's where I learned how to talk. I was a very shy kid.
Yeah,
Didn't talk.
And you just, there's something magical about you talking on the phone and like expressing yourself. And if you can convince somebody, listen to me, if you can convince somebody to pay their bill over the phone, you can do anything in this world. Like it's just the craziest thing. Sir, you owe this money, sir.
Like, hurry up!
Like,
go ahead with the last.
Just grab your
digits.
debit card; it's right there. But we did that for a while, and then you just. I'd like to think that every position is a stepping stone for you. You know, like you pick from it and you learn from it, and you apply it to your next thing. Then I was like, okay, well, let me start. I got into the insurance world. Started my own agency. Became really successful really quick. Not because, you know, I was doing anything different, but I think I touched the community that was underserved. I feel like, and my Spanish is well, like I speak very well Spanish, and so I was able to communicate a lot of the information with a lot of people. So I built a lot of good relationships that way. And of course, throughout the years, keeping in touch with yourself, with Brian, and Brian seeing that we were doing great things, and then, you know, Brian pitches the idea, and it's like, okay, like, are we doing this? What's gonna happen? And I guess the rest is just more like everything fell into play, super organically, like a perfect puzzle, right? So,
sick.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
from two dudes that went to alternative school to fucking club owners.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, guys. There's nothing
Alternative school, because we didn't really go to school. I mean, I personally didn't really go to school too much. It was just not for me. I only liked going to the subjects that I liked.
PE,
the rest of the
lunch.
Yeah, PE, lunch, fucking
Art.
breakdance, breaks.
Yeah.
Art. Nah, like art, you know, just certain subjects that I liked.
Yeah.
And that was it. And like the rest I couldn't focus on. And that's how I've always been. Still to this day, if I'm not into it, you guys know this, like if Padilla invites me to, let's just say, this is an example, a hike, and I'm not into it, I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not. There's no way I'm going on a hike. I would rather go do.
You'd rather hike to go fishing.
Yeah, I'd rather hike and go fishing, or there has to be something that I like, you know. I'm down to try certain things, you know, but that's just how I am.
Yeah.
And that's my education comes from just, I don't know, I wouldn't even call it street smart. I would just say like just learning off of experiences.
Yeah, I like to look at you like you're very hands-on. So like, you know, to all the kids and everybody that's like, oh, you know, I'm in a position where I don't really know what I'm gonna do. Like maybe I'm in high school, or maybe I don't know if school is for me. I think you still need to you still have a niche, you still have a talent, right? So for example, Brian can fix you a lowrider like no one's business. You know, like he can look it, and even if he doesn't know how to do it, he's so hands-on that he'll look for the answers either on YouTube or some shit, right? That doesn't mean, just because you don't have this title that says you're a mechanic doesn't mean that you can't do it, right? And I think the sooner you realize and understand that, the better off you're gonna be 100% of the time. Who cares about the information that you have up here if you're just not doing anything with it other than storing it? Then who gives a fuck about your ideas? You know?
Yeah, and I feel like everything it has to be hands. At least for me, my learning is like hands on. Some people learn, like paying attention to what
Yeah.
they got to do and blah blah blah. But it's like somebody could tell you how to do something, and you still won't be able to do it 100% until you try.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my learning process, and that's how I go about things. It's like,
Yeah.
well, if I want to become a club owner, then the only thing left to do is try.
Yeah.
You know.
So if you swallowed everything that they told you, like, oh, look, you don't understand business, or you don't, like, or maybe you don't have experience with business, and you allow that to consume you and like actually convince that you're not capable of, then Calle 6 wouldn't have been, and you have 45 plus people that depend on us. And so please explain to me, how is it that's possible? So I think one of the best things you can do in your lifetime is start a business that you have no idea, like that
Just figuring it out.
Yeah, just figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
Not saying that we did that, because there's obviously, also the other thing you need to do is hire your weaknesses. Like, you don't need to know everything. You create a team, you create 3 solid guys, and you hire what you lack at, like, and I think within this room, like, we have that, so living proof that it works, like, it's possible.
Yeah,
It does work.
That's crazy. It's about the team. It's about the team.
Oh yeah, no, this shit is like about creating a team for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's somebody out there in the world that can do this by themselves, and even Azim is a good example, but even he has a team,
Yeah.
and it's like there's important people in there that make it happen.
Yeah, a lot of times what doesn't allow you to see that is like maybe your ego, like, you want to be. For us, I think we're just so down to earth that we're like, no, let's just create a team. And for me, at least, and I'm sure you guys are similar, like, you guys think the same, it's never been like the spotlight needs to be on me. I don't think we've ever thought that way. I think we thought about like the spotlight needs to be on Calle, period. So because ultimately we need to live to perform another day, right? So
Yeah, I mean, one thing about Padilla is he is the co-owner, but he's also a kick-ass barback. Like, if it's a busy night, we're understaffed, he's fucking washing dishes.
I can wash you a dish like it's no one's
mopping
business.
the floors. He's mopping throw up. He's plunging the fucking toilet.
I've done some nasty shit.
So
Like,
he's not the typical, walk into the club and has his own VIP. Actually, neither of these guys are, Even Brian. Brian is fixing leaks, like both of these guys literally built this club with the team, obviously, that they have, but they built this club with their own hands, and I think that's something special. I don't think a lot of that has happened. Who knows if it's happened, but I think that's why it's really special, is you guys literally came in here and ripped off the carpet and put a different floor and painted the walls and just switched the whole vibe of the building.
yeah.
Just off of your both of your guys' ideas. I remember coming in here when it was not even Calle 6, and you guys were like, what do you think about this greenery right here? All right, here, install it. Just walk it away. So I mean, I think it's just been so dope to be a part of the journey from before the doors opened, and not even that, like a part of the journey from before it was even an idea. It's fucking crazy. All right, so I mean, man, we could keep going for hours, and I feel like we're barely scratching the surface, but I feel like we did get a lot of good things out of this episode. I definitely think we're over an hour, so this is probably going to be one of our longer episodes so far.
Apologize.
But I know our people are listening, and they're interested to just hear about everything, how things come about with these type of things. But yeah, any last words for the people watching, for the people that support Calle, for anyone in general, staff, from the both of you?
I'd say just stay tuned to what we got in store for you guys. The calendar is looking crazy. We got a dope lineup coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
We got some cool shit happening like in the upcoming few weeks. Hopefully we end up doing much more than just club events. You know, we end up doing like maybe concerts or something like that. That shit would be fire. I think so.
Yeah.
You know, for the city, for you guys. Stay tuned to the changes coming to Calle Ace, you know, whether it be, you know, adding a picture on the wall, some lighting, some sound systems, some little bit of, you know, and upcoming events in general. Just a little bit of everything that's coming to Calle Ace. Stay tuned. You know, don't want to throw out too much stuff out there, but
don't
stay
give them
tuned.
all our secrets. Don't give them all our secrets now.
You know, but stay tuned. That's
tuned.
all. And just keep coming to Calle Ace. Keep supporting us. We support you guys, you know. And let's hope to build some connections, you know, make some friendships out here.
Yeah. Yeah. As I said before, when we did the weekly update, you guys will see these guys all over the club. Don't be shy to say what's up to them. Pick their brains if maybe you're a business owner or you want to start your own business. These are two great people to talk to, especially if it's something you're not sure about or you're just like, it's a crazy idea to you. This was a crazy idea to them at one point. So that's what I would say for sure. What about you, senor?
I think for me, senor. I think for me, I'm going to piggyback on Brian a little bit. Definitely stay tuned. But also I think in general, like for the public to come out, I think like always understand that you need to, at the end of the day, be respectful, like to whatever club you're at, right? It could be Casa, it could be Elevate, it could be, you know, Spark, or not Spark, but Shake, you know, whatever, or a bar even. Yeah. And you have to understand that the staff and security, they go through a lot every weekend, right? And so it's your job. Like, you come in as a guest and you party and you go through your fun, which is awesome, and you get to leave, you get to go home. We still have to deal with like the aftermath, right? And so being respectful and being patient goes a long way for every club, every bar. So that's my number one, like, probably like advice to that, outside of staying tuned and obviously being engaging with your community. For me, for specifically Calle Ace, let us know where we can improve. Let us know what you'd like to see. Let us know, you know, what you'd like to see more of, because that gives us more of a sense of direction of where we can go as a club, right? I don't consider us just to be a club. I consider us to be like an entertainment venue, you know. And so we can't do that without you guys. We can't do that without us knowing. We joke with our, you know, when we interview, we're like, oh, our crystal ball is broken. Like, we can't read your mind. And that shit's still broken. we don't know what you guys want until you guys let us know. So whether it's on a Instagram page, whether it's on, you know, via email, you know, shoot us, whether good or bad, you know, we're just here to try and deliver as best as we can. We also understand that it's not one size fits all. We understand that as well. So we are a Latin driven nightclub, right? And so if you're here for a good time, if you're here for the vibes, if you're here to make memories with friends, if you're here to keep, you know, not just yourself but everybody else safe, yo, come through. Like, legit, come through. Come say hi, you know. He looks scary, but he's a nice dude, I promise you.
It's just my face.
It's just his face. You know, if I'm running around and I don't pay much attention to you, I am sorry. I got 1,001 different things I gotta be doing during the time that we operate. And even when we're done, you guys, fun fact, I get home like at 5 a.m. sometimes, you know, and it's like, I'm beat, sober. You guys are at least buzzed. Like, you guys can go home and like crash out, maybe throw up.
Maybe throw up. Man,
I have to clean up, y'all throw up. Like, it's like, damn. But that's what I got for our community and for our people.
So I think this is a great part one to what we can, you know, record. So shouts out to the viewers. Continue to lock in with the podcast. It's on YouTube. We'll put clips up on Instagram. Thank you so much for the support. And yeah, we'll keep you updated as the time goes, and we'll see you out there this weekend.
Dale.
Make sure to subscribe everywhere. Click the buttons. Subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, on everything.
Just catch it this way.
Damn.
We're cutting that shit out.
That shit went out to you guys. Shout out to you guys.
Peace.
Deuce.
We need to come up with a name for them.
Ooh.
Shout out to Los Callejeros. No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh, Los Calle.
Los callejeros,
Nah, I don't know about that.
It's gonna insult people.
Callejero, pero.
Yo, shout out Brian is about to be a daddy. Yo,
Yo,
shout out
any
Brian.
day.
Shout out Brian.
Probably, maybe even by the time this is uploaded. So congrats,
Brian's about to have
DJ
his
Proceed.
second baby girl.
Baby girl's coming.
You're gonna see her at the club. She's gonna be fucking dancing it up.
Don't turn 30. Your back gets broke.
Shout out, I need a tip.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go, fellas. Padilla, I need you to take me this ASAP for my girl, so she might be on that shit.